do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
We're here live on YouTube yet again.
Coming at you.
Now, before I introduce our guest here, I want to say something at the top because I always forget to, plug things or say things that important that we're doing. And I'll save it to the end when everyone stops listening. So I do want to say, I think it's June 26th will be our last live show of the summer because there's a lot going on. And, we got to take a break. We will come back, and we're not leaving you guys because we're going to have a fuck ton of just awesome watch-alongs. Me and Ben are watching a bunch of our favorite cartoons together, and you guys get to watch it with us, So
it's like real Saturday morning cartoons in real time with us.
Yeah.
And, that's the other thing. We've been doing this how long now, James? 3 years?
Yeah. Going on 4.
3 years. We haven't missed anything. We haven't missed a Saturday morning yet. There were a couple of late posts, but
never missed one.
Haven't missed one. Have yet to miss one. So just be aware that's still going to be the case. We will be here. We will be with you. We want you to keep hanging out with us. We want to keep seeing you in the chat, and we'll be available. We'll be in and out of that inbox, and who knows? Maybe, just maybe, from whatever locations and sets we might be on as the summer goes, we might find 10 minutes to talk to you.
Yeah, hop in. We'll be in the chat. We'll try our best.
Yeah.
And you know what? Watching cartoons with us, you know what? That's probably a better show than, our normal show.
Than us talking about cartoons.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I know. I feel like this is the premier, Toon podcast to come out of New York City.
Hell yeah.
Truly.
It's a very niche, market.
This is like the Saturday Night Live of cartoon podcasts.
Hell yeah.
That's the goal. That's where we're at.
So live streams end June 26th. We'll be back sometime either beginning or mid-September and just enjoy a bunch of cartoons with us. It'll be a good time. As you've been hearing his voice here again, Chili Beans is back.
Hi, I can't shut up
on the show.
Hello, everybody.
we have our beans.
I finally made it. I finally made it back to Toonular. First, it was Chirpy, and then it was what was the other sex one that you had me watch?
Fucking Heavy Metal 2000.
Heavy Metal 2000. Yeah, that was a good one.
So, it's funny because normally we get guests on here that we know that we're friends with, but aren't people we necessarily, talk to every day. And here you are coming on the show today. We live together, and I know you
James
and Ben
ran a
talk.
Guest, so he was like, "Hey, I don't have anyone to be on this week's episode. Would you mind?"
But it's just funny to have someone who's with us every day now. Just because not like, "Oh, hey, what's up? How you doing?" But exactly what all of us. Have
Yeah,
been
we all
doing.
know. We've been communicating all day about different aspects of our lives. In fact, this is the first time any of us have talked about what is our show tonight, James? What's our cartoon
Well,
tonight?
we haven't got there.
There's an
there's
intro.
a
Sorry,
format,
sorry,
you know?
Yeah,
sorry,
listen,
sorry.
wow.
I fucked up. I'm a
That's
bad
how
guest.
long Garrett's been gone.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't even respect format
I
anymore.
don't.
Yeah, because I got the whole intro. 'Cause I didn't get to talk about.
I'm a rule breaker.
You got to join me on my Sum 41 weekend this week.
Oh my God, I did. It was incredible. Oh, dude.
I don't know how much of that day you would like to talk
I
about.
don't know how much that day I remember. I don't know how much that day. So here's the thing, everybody. Okay, so I had this plan, right? Because drinks are expensive at the, at shows now.
Yeah, I mean that's standard.
That's like
Shitty
average.
standard, but standard.
But I'm a little broke right now, so I was like, all right, I'm going to do something to save my money. So what I did was I bought a whole bottle of vodka, Helix 7 vodka, if any of you are interested in a Grey Goose that doesn't cost as much as a Grey Goose. And I was like, I'll make a couple mixed drinks, and then we'll go. And just, your classic case of got way too hammered in the pregame. I was, like, drunk, and then I had a little water bottle filled with vodka, so drinking it on the way to the show and keeping it going with a couple beers as I got there. So I don't remember how I got home. James is a famous
how much
photo.
of the yeah, I have a great photo. I guess
You should post it to
I can
Fantasy
put it.
Shed.
I can put it on air.
You can put it on air if you want. You should also
my phone's charging, otherwise I'd do it.
That should be like the announcement. Be like, this week Chili Beans is on. It's just a photo of me drunk on the train, wearing the wrong jacket because Kochek gave me the wrong jacket.
That's true.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost my Vans jacket at the show because Kochek gave me like the wrong windbreaker.
Oh
So I
my
just have this
God.
random
And you
windbreaker.
didn't notice it until afterwards?
No, I mean, if you see this picture, you'll know why I
Yeah.
did not notice it.
And my phone's charging, otherwise I'd play it for you guys here on air.
So
You'll all see it, don't worry.
I heard a little bit about this about getting home. Somebody fell asleep on the train.
No one fell asleep on
Was
the
it
train.
me? Oh, no.
No, the getting home was a fucking nightmare. So somehow, I mean, I drank a lot. Somehow I was like the most sober. Like I lost some friends, and then I knew me, Garrett, my other friend, were coming back to my crib, and then I just see Garrett. At one point, you're just like wobbling on your way out, and I was like, Garrett, you gotta stop wobbling. And then you were like, got a little mad. You're like, I'm not wobbling.
You're fucking wobbling, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you moving around standing still? And then I fell over.
Wait a minute, though. Hang on. Time out. I thought you told me there was a point where you fell asleep on the train, couldn't get home, ended up in another part of the city, and then had to go back. Was that a different night?
That
was
was
a
definitely,
weekend?
yeah.
That was a different night.
yeah.
That's a fun story. I did tell you about that. That was if we have time for it, James. My third month here at Troma, I'd gotten way too drunk thanks to Mr. John Brennan, also a friend of the show. Had bought me too many drinks, and I'd fallen asleep, and I woke up, and mind you, I was like 3 months Lloyd's assistant, and I woke up at like 3 p.m. and I had like 12 missed calls from him. I was like, holy shit, this is it. And then he just kind of gave me a weird, like, stern dad talk. He was like, oh, well, if you were my son, I'd ground you. And then he hung up.
So,
And here I am.
again, though, you have to respect the fact that he understands in that situation. You still kept your job. You're still good.
I'm
Like,
unfortunately still here.
Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't fall asleep this time, but you definitely fell down a few flights of stairs.
I did fall down a few flights of stairs and I hurt my coccyx.
So I got a good one along those lines. I was but a wee trauma intern myself, right? Some buddies of mine had come up to see me in the city while I was still there for my observership, and we go out. There was a little bar down the way on Hell's Kitchen. It's not Rudy's. It's in the other direction from the old building. I forget the name of the place, but we gone there. And literally, like, they fed us drinks. I was underage. I was still 20. And they just kept feeding us drinks. And always our tab was like a third of what it should have been.
Yeah.
So it was the best place to go, right? Anyway, me and my two buddies from Tennessee, obliterated. We get on a train. And all I could do is just be like, blue line, A and C, takes us to Brooklyn, A and C. We get on the train. I immediately pass out. The next thing I know, it's like an hour later, something like that. And my buddy wakes me up and he's like, Ben, all the signs say we're in Harlem and we've been stuck here for like 30 minutes. What do we do? And I was like, what do you mean, Harlem? We're in Brooklyn. This is my stop. And we get out on the A&C, and we're at the last stop. And the train had been stuck for a minute. It'd been sitting there. And then I look around to finally get my bearings, and I'm like, we're not anywhere near Brooklyn. Like, we gotta
Nowhere
go the
near
other way.
Brooklyn.
On the other side, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, complete opposite. So we get up, we cross over, we finally get on a train. I think we got back to Tillery Street where I was staying. I think we finally got back there at maybe like 4-ish in the morning. Like it was absurd.
I mean,
it
wasn't. That's not too far from our trip because, like, besides, no one fell asleep. But the fucking to get to New York talk here, fucking the G trains were shut down. So if that fucked us, it would normally be a 30-minute, or you'd say 30,
Just about like 20, 30 minutes. Yeah, to
right.
get there.
Normally from the Brooklyn Paramount that we saw some 41 at, took us what, an hour and a half to get home that night.
Easily.
Like
I
crazy.
mean, I don't remember, but yeah.
It was, I'm trying to like guide these people through the subways that are also taking 1,000 years to get to
He's
us.
like our fucking dad, and we're all drunk toddlers.
Trying to make sure we make these trains on time. Yeah, it fucking sucked getting home that night. But yeah, but did you have a good time at the show?
Oh, but it was all worth it. It was 100% worth it. They were amazing. They put on a great show. I jumped the songs that I listened to during my very formative years. It was magical.
I remember, because I didn't see you much in the show, and then I just remember moshing at one point, and then just seeing you just drunk, kind of like wobbling like into the pit, and I just like tackled like straight into you. And you say you don't remember that?
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that at all.
want to see a very drunk Garrett in a pit. Like, you have no idea.
I mean, you've seen it. I mean, listen, everybody who's watching this podcast has seen a very drunk Garrett at one point or another.
But in a pit?
You saw
Bro.
me 37 beers in Bayonne, and Troma Dance. Well, no, you were the drunk one in Troma Dance.
I was very drunk at Troma Dance.
But anyway,
Jen's
one night
already
we gotta find
issued
some
an
other
edict.
asshole to. Oh, can I swear on the show? We gotta
I
find.
mean, I don't know. It's YouTube rules. I don't care.
We gotta find some other a-hole to drunk watch us, and all three of us go get drunk, and we'll talk about that.
I
on the
didn't
podcast.
decide. It's not like I was the one. Like,
No,
I'm
you
gonna-
never decide. You're never like you're just the one who's the most sober. That's just how it works.
Jen issued an edict. I am to stay away from liquor in the city without her. So
That's not gonna fly with me, man. Well, okay, we are going to
Beers
Port
only.
Jervis, so we can get away with it there.
Hey, if you guys hear this, if you hear that like fuzz in the background, that is the rain over here coming down.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Do you hear that?
I don't hear it.
no, we don't
It's
hear it
start-
right now. So
There was an ice cream truck coming down the street, though.
Yeah,
James.
we
Can
got it
can we get
here.
an ice cream break.
It's coming down hard over here.
Hang on, everybody. I know we'll get to the show soon, but I need an ice cream break.
But yeah, man, I'm so glad you did come. I'm so glad you came. I'm glad
Me
you
too.
you
I'm
you
glad I
joined
come.
me on my Sum 41 weekend because it was great because I had you there, I had my brother there, I had my friend Matt who I've gone to every single.
And we had my brother there too.
Your
Yeah,
brother
Matt,
there.
my brother there.
said my friend Matt, I've seen every single. Pretty much, I go to every show with that guy, and then some old friends that I haven't hung out with in probably like 2-3 years. So it was this weird, awesome, really cool combination of just like people all coming together. Just
It really
to
was.
see my favorite band.
It really
It's
was
just
like
like-
it was a magical moment. It really like the second they like took the stage, you're just like, oh fuck, we are so bad.
And you know, this is really cool because no one else, as far as I know, Garrett will experience this on the tour. So during Fat Lip, they played maybe like 2 notes. Power goes out. They lose all, like the instruments die. They just stop playing. But the crowd doesn't stop for the entirety of the song. People are still moshing, crowd surfing, jumping, just singing. Like the song literally did not stop. And it was like the most awesome, exhilarating moment.
The Sum 41 fans are some of the greatest on the planet, dude. Like they're really like we're all so dedicated to this band. Like I totally believe that. I don't remember it, but I totally believe it.
I don't know if you guys can see. I got chills. I get chills for moments like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's so good.
Like,
And you know,
It's
it brings me back, says my friend who was with us. We're at one party years ago. Now, like probably like over 10 years ago. We're coming back. We're drunk, and our one friend, she was our like DD driver. She's driving us. She goes to, she gave me the the music. So of course immediately I put on Fat Lip, but the radio fucked up and it just cut out. And then we, as the car, sang the entire song, as the music cut out. And to now, be here 10 whole years later, being in this fucking venue with the music cutting out. Everyone's cheering, crowd surfing and yelling and flipping everywhere. It was just, that's the moment I'll always remember and cherish in my life.
Well,
And I got to experience with you.
And it was a magical moment for the both of us.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, yeah, not everybody's gonna get that show. And the one thing that I really appreciate about what I really appreciate about the way you're choosing to look at it and the way you're going about it is this, right? Like the whole notion of there's going to be a contingency in that audience that is like, no, I went out with my favorite song.
Exactly.
They're never going to appreciate the moment that you actually got.
Exactly.
But you guys see it for what it is, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I
And
love that.
And they did play it again after because they got the sound back on. And they're like, all right. And they played it again a second time. So those people got to still get their...
They still got their moment, but it was just like that was such a moment for the fans. Like
Yeah.
everyone had such a love for this song and for this group, and it's so upsetting to see them breaking up. But honestly, it's like what a beautiful send off to this amazing band that's meant so much to us.
So. Do you guys know what I have tomorrow night?
What do you got?
I'm going to a show.
Yeah, so what's up with you, Ben Johnson? What are you doing?
I'm going to a show. Tomorrow night in Pelham, Tennessee. Pelham, Tennessee.
Pelham.
On the east side, right? East side of Tennessee. Famously, I am a Clutch fan. I've seen Clutch.
Yes, you love Clutch almost pretty much as much as I love Sum 41, if not more.
How many times have you seen Sum 41 over the years?
I've seen them every year since 2010 and twice, and they usually play. They used to play once every 2 years. Then they started playing every year consecutively since like 2017, and twice in 2019. So I don't know. I would say, definitely about like 10 or more times.
I've seen Clutch over 65 times in 22, 23 years, something like that. Over 65. I quit counting around 50, but over the last few years, I can tell you it's amped up. Tomorrow night is the first night that I will ever be able to say that I've seen my favorite band in a cave.
That's right. You say Clutch in a cave. That is sick.
They're playing a venue called the Caverns here in East Tennessee. I cannot wait. I'm taking Jen to work in the morning. She's got to be there at like 4, so we're leaving here at like 3. I take her to work. I drop off the dogs at their dog sitters for tomorrow, and then fucking I do housework prep for my New York trip because guess what? I'm sleeping on your couch Friday night, babies.
Wait till we talk about next week.
Yeah, wait until we talk about next week.
Oh my God, is Ben gonna be sitting in this chair now? Is Ben gonna be here?
There's a lot more is happening. Trust me.
But dude. Fucking so I end up got these tickets ready to go. I got all this work to do during the day, and then I pick up Jen at 2 p.m. and then straight from there we drive the hour and a half to Pelham, nap in the car for 2 hours, and then it's showtime. Dude, they're doing a song on the set. I'm in I'm in a bunch of Clutch Facebook groups.
Hell yeah.
Because I also love watching like 40-somethings yell and bitch about things.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing in my Sum 41 Facebook.
You know what I mean? So here's the kicker. There's a song called Binge and Purge.
Nice.
All right? It's been off the set list for almost as long as I've been seeing them, right?
Yeah.
Never seen it live. They're doing it now because what they're supporting is I think it's like the 21st or 25th anniversary of Transnational Speedway, their first like big full-length record, right? Binge and Purge has the crowd so divided. And part of it is because Neil, the singer, has famously said, he goes, I'm not that young and angry anymore. And when I start yelling about, come on, motherfucker, let's go. He's like, I just don't feel it. So we took it off the set list and just haven't done it in a while. But it's back on to support this record. Dude, people are exploding. They're like, the Clutch is selling out. The other half of the group is like, selling out. They're playing their own fucking song.
Yeah.
They're playing a song.
Just
You
throwing a
guys
song
want-
on a
now-
set list.
Now they've started to play it, and as they play it, it's like a 6.5 minute song on the record. They've cut it down to like 3.5 minutes. Everybody gets still what they want from it, and then they're able to pack in another tune. It's also like one of these old like hardcore songs, so it starts off like all
So
nice
it's
and like
fast, yeah.
drony. Brown, brown, brown. It's all slow until you get to that fucking like just punching a motherfucker in the face part.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I can't wait. Probably do it tomorrow night. Honestly, my hope is that they throw everybody a curveball and just do a straight up and down 1.5 hour long acoustic set. That's what I
In a cave, that'd be sick.
In a fucking
that's
cave.
what I hope.
But I mean, like, I
want-
kind of get it. You know, before the Sum 41 show, I was like complaining a lot about the set list they were doing because it was just like they're just doing like a greatest hits tour, you know?
Yeah.
And there's like other songs I want to hear. That I mean, I have heard them. You know, I look back at the other, but it's like then I was like, whatever. You know, why am I bitching about a set? I don't know. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
You got
either.
to that point, yeah.
So, and that's the thing with a lot of bands is they'll go out and they'll practice. They will have their set. This is what they will
Yeah.
do. Period. Right? Bands like Clutch change it every night. You're gonna get 5 or 6 of the same
that's sick.
songs, yeah. But then the rest of it, like I've been watching all of these lists over the last 2 weeks, right? Because they'll post their set list from the night before on their Instagram, so you see what they were doing, and the way the tour and the show evolves. Like I get real heady with it because I
Yeah.
like to get heady with everything. But it's like I often like to troll those same Facebook groups by putting up the Pepe Sylvia meme from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
And what it is like I'll say shit like Binge and Purge back on the set list, 3 acoustic songs a night. This means we're gonna get Slow Hold of China in its entirety at the Caverns. Like that's what it means. I use it as like a means of like predicting and pointing to like this is what I think's gonna happen at the show.
That's like pretty much QAnon's like whole shtick. That's like
Yes.
exactly what they do.
Yes, that's it. It is. That's where I get it from. But anyway, I love to drag people. But that's the biggest excitement I have. That, and I'm coming up to see you guys. Otherwise,
Yeah.
this week's been it's been very chill, very mellow. We did start our recordings, which is
Yeah.
wonderful.
The watch-alongs. Can't wait for you guys to see
Yeah.
them. And watch
So
the
we're
cartoons with
prepping
us.
good. I mean, I've been keeping up with movie people, movie stuff, all of that. That's going to become my whole life. It already has.
Yeah,
But
well, yeah, it's already there.
it's already there. And then yeah, man, I don't know. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really, really good right now. I don't even think I could feel any better if I was a teenage robot.
Hey, that's right. That's what we're talking
Hey.
about. My life as a teenage robot.
That was a good segue. That was
Yeah.
a fucking amazing segue. Wow.
I will say, Ben, if you can lean slightly more to the left side.
Okay, thank
some
God
more.
you addressed it. I'm like, Ben, you need to move like a hair to your right. And there you are. Now
Yeah.
you're perfect.
No. It's also the way it kind of cuts in where my camera
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that.
Because
No, I
on
see
the
that.
full camera, you're full screen, but then the way that it.
But then the
does-
way it cuts on the thing. But
yeah.
now I can see
And
your full beautiful
I
face.
do that so I don't have to hold my microphone, so I
Yeah.
can actually lean and talk into where my mic is.
Well,
placed.
as an audio guy, that's why I never say anything because I prefer the better.
yeah, you prefer good
Nobody
sound.
cares about visuals. They only care about audio.
But yeah, my life as a teenage robot,
Woo-hoo!
man. Man, Garrett, you've been asking to watch this for a long time.
I think I may have asked you to watch this before I came on Chirpy.
Maybe.
Like, I think the first time I heard your cartoon podcast, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we guys talk about My Life as a Teenage Robot yet?
And this show is a crazy nostalgia for me, for sure. But I have not watched it since whenever I watched it on TV. 20 whatever years
It was
ago.
like 2003 we were like on
Yeah,
the
so,
Paramount
yeah,
things.
20
It's
years
been
ago.
20 years.
I haven't watched the show in 20 years. But yeah, so Chili Beans, why were you annoying me so much to watch this?
Well, I mean, so this and the other suggestion that I have, which you guys haven't done yet, kind of both fall in line with like I never thought of it until I started thinking my favorite cartoons to bug James about to be on the show with. But I guess I just had a thing for like female superheroes when I was a kid. I would just watch these shows all the time.
Oh, I
My
still
Life
do.
as a Teenager, I mean, they're still amazing. Like, it still holds up. It's incredible. But this show in particular, I do have a very distinct memory of the premiere. Like, I do remember when
I don't
this
remember
show,
the
I remember
premiere.
the show like when it came out. I was still living in Windsor Terrace, Brooklyn, right down from the Greenwood Cemetery. It was nighttime, and I was very scared of the nighttime because the zombies.
And you were like,
obviously,
only
in
if
the
there
thing.
was a teenage robot.
If only
to
there was a
save me.
teenage robot to save me, and there was like, and I remember like there was a whole big like they had pushed it for a week, be like, don't miss this Friday, My Life as a Teenage Robot world premiere, and I was like, that sounds fucking awesome. And then I remember watching the first episode, and I'm like, holy shit! I went to bed right after that. I was like, that was fucking awesome, and then I would watch it basically every chance that I got.
I mean, I watched a lot of it. Like, I don't remember the premiere at all. I don't even remember really any episodes as I've been rewatching it. But I watched a fuck ton of this show because it was like, she's a robot, she kicks ass, and she's dealing with like, normal problems.
High school problems,
So-
just a
Yeah.
teenage robot.
I'll be wide open with you guys. I got through, I think it was like maybe 6 or 7 episodes at the beginning. I tried to watch the last episode right before we were getting on, the 2009 like 45-minute movie, like Big
It's a good
Ender or
movie.
whatever. I got 23 minutes into it, and then Paramount was like, "Oh, I guess 23 minutes is the end of the episode," and it made it go into the little box. And then literally Danny Phantom started up in the middle of it. And I was
That's
like,
so
the show
weird.
didn't end. And then I went to restart it, right? And fast forward to where I was. It let me get 30 seconds into it. And then fucking it went to Jimmy Neutron.
Because it thought it was the end of the show. Because it was like, oh, you already watched it, so we'll just skip you to another show that you might like.
It was wild. It was, but I couldn't finish it.
So
And I
now,
just sent-
this is on Paramount, right?
yeah, that's on Paramount.
The crow's feet of big streaming are really showing, huh?
I know. I
The-
mean, last week I was bitching all about HBO Max, but here we are, Paramount. I
Paramount.
thought this would be the savior.
you know where this doesn't happen? Netflix.
All of them have their problems, bro. All of them have their problems. That's it. That's the thing with technology and AI. It's it's going to be the death of us, which is great because I mean, wow, what a wonderful segue. What a wonderful way to continue the conversation. It's like Paramount was being a petulant teenage robot.
Oh, that's the segue for sure.
Is that
So-
the gimmick? We just let Ben do all the segues.
yeah,
So, like-
Ben is our segue man.
So here's the thing though. I'd never heard of this show. I'd never seen this show. When the theme song started, I was immediately drawn in. It's a fucking, what is it you kids say? It's a bop, man.
It's a bop, dude. Yeah, we do say that. It's
I've
a
been
fucking
trying to
bop.
look up what it says. Oh, it's performed by someone named Jenny Carr, who I have no idea who that is. But I thought it was a band. It's definitely not a band. So it was made by somebody.
But it gets you moving.
Yeah.
It sets you in. Like the opening credits are awesome. Like it's I was bought in when I started watching it, and I was like, this is rad. I can see why kids
Top song.
enjoyed it.
I googled the singer, and top song is "My Life as a Teenage Robot."
So I was not familiar with this at all. I was 23 at that point in time. So
I think
you
this
know.
feel like the show was made for like our demographic.
Yeah, I mean,
kids.
this
like,
is a
basically-
core memory in my brain watching this on TV, like core.
So here's the thing though, and I love it because if it's 2003, you're still looking at like sort of tail end of what is it, kind of the hyper masculine 90s. We're only 4 years away from Limp Bizkit playing break stuff while Woodstock 94
yeah,
burned, right?
yeah,
Right,
We're-
right.
We're 4 years away from Anthony Kiedis inciting additional fires when they played Jimi Hendrix's Fire
Yeah,
during
Fire,
Woodstock 99. Like we're
Well, do you
in
know
all
this
of
show
that.
did technically start in 1999?
Oh, how so?
So the creator Rob
Renzetti.
Renzetti, thank you, Chili Beans. That's when he started
I'm very into the
Nickelodeon.
show.
He started on Two Stupid Dogs.
God.
And then
Okay.
from there, I don't remember the name of the program, but Nickelodeon, I guess, had like a short program. They kind of like the MTV did when they had like how Beavis and Butthead got picked up. It was like, here's our shorts of a bunch of different things, and like the original short was called "My Neighbor is a Teenage Robot," and it's like the short is basically like verbatim the pilot, just like cruder animation. But also, there's another. Fairly Odd Parents also got picked up from the same
Oh, really?
shorts.
Another huge Nickelodeon show, yeah.
So with that, right? Like, awesome, good to see that something worthwhile got picked up. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is like, I also dig the conceit of the show. Is that here is this superhero robot? We're jumped into her, basically like saving the world in the first episode.
Immediately, yeah.
Yeah, and I love it when shows do this, and there's no build up to who the character is. There's nothing that they always show. They don't tell. They're like, how do we show that she's a superhero? Oh, we have her save the world in the first like scene. She's saving the world, and then it becomes sort of that minutia of her day-to-day existence, right? And it becomes like, oh, she's just like us dealing with the same problems. She wants to go to school. She wants to be a normal kid. She wants to be like a typical teenager. And one of my favorite things is the way she reacts to her mom, her creator or whatever. And it's just like, all I can see is like a teen girl just rolling her eyes the entire time. You know what I mean? But mom...
And that's what everyone's like talking to Beans about, because it's like, out of all the ages you're gonna make a fucking superhero robot, why a teenager? That's like the most annoying age to possibly make it.
But it works so well, and like, so I'll tell you why I think a teenager, right? And why I think it actually really, really does work, particularly with like a robot, right? If the idea of the show is that she wants to continually be like a normal, quote unquote, a normal teenager, AI, as we know it now, the constant struggle is to continually grow, evolve, and become more human-like, right?
Yeah.
In all the conversations. You can only go so far as your programming. Our dear friend, the Whiplash Maniac.
Steeler.
Dwayne Steeler.
Hey guys. What's up, Dwayne Steeler? So the whole thing there, though, is it's a constant struggle.
I mean, I get that, like,
kids,
story-wise, why Teenage Robot makes sense. I'm just talking about, like, literally, like, this person is like...
Like, in-universe sense. Yeah. Like, I'm going to build a teenager, because that'll be fun.
I mean...
I'm going to take the worst part of childhood. I'm going to make something in that.
Well, valid. I mean, it's close enough to an adult. It's got enough curiosity to continue to want to grow. I don't know. It makes the most sense to me. It's not fully formed as an adult, so
still
AI
shaping
I
its
think
mind.
this is not as fun of an answer either, but I was talking to James about this right before in the episodes we were watching prior to, and I think the reason why maybe like the show's creators chose to make her a teenage robot is because when you're making a show for kids, right, she's a teenage robot. It's, she's older than you, but she's like still in school. So it's like, it's kind of cool. She still kind of relates to you, but she does have like big person problems kind of. So it's like, oh, wow, this is like really cool stuff I have to look forward to in high school. But there were no teenage robots in my high school.
Yeah,
so I was really let
unfortunately.
down.
and none near as foxy in my high school.
We got to talk about Sheldon now because we have to address the Sheldon in the room.
Yeah.
So here's the thing though, right? The idea of also a robot going to school is wild.
We said that too. We were like, wait, wouldn't you just know everything?
Yeah.
I mean,
There's one
the show
episode where
sort of
she's on.
addresses it.
There's like one episode she's on the high school football team, and I was like, "Isn't that just cheating?" Like,
all right. So, and this is where you have to live inside that world, that universe. I also love the fact that they don't hide who she is what she's doing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean?
She's a
She
superhero
look-
robot throughout.
Just
all
in
of
high
it.
school, like everyone
Yeah.
just accepted, like, yeah, okay, that's a superhero robot.
And they still
you know?
bully her.
They do.
She still gets bullied even as a fucking teenage fucking superhero robot.
What are the Mean Girls' names again?
Oh, like the Crust.
The
twins.
Crust Cousins.
Crust cousins.
Yeah.
These no good, mean,
Downrotten.
girls, man. What? Like, okay. As far as I got, again, like halfway through the first season, and I do apologize for that, but and I'll save it for the end. But I will say, like, this is a thing I'm gonna keep watching. I literally can see myself putting this on and just enjoying. I had that much fun.
You just
with
run
it
around your house, just singing it to yourself.
The whole time, dude. This show made me. It literally made me happy. Garrett can tell you, I was having a rough couple of days. I put this on, and this made me so freaking happy. Like. There was the episode where she gets new eyes, right? Did you guys see that? Did you happen to watch that one?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, but she gets
I don't think I watched. Not that I remember.
Okay, so mom is updating her eyes. Gives her these new eyes. They're big. They're kind of wonky looking on the outside, but they function so much better, right? And she's seeing all this and she's flicking through everything. And then finally she gets in front of like a mirror and she's like, wow, whatever setting number 1 is makes things look crazy. Ha ha ha. What setting is this? Mom goes, normal. And she goes, oh, okay. And then she thinks for a second and she turns around and you see you can see the steam coming out of her.
Yeah.
Normal? This is what I look like? Ah!
And that's like that. It's supposed to be like a glasses thing, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
give the kid
Yes.
like she's having like normal girl problems.
You guys
like,
wear glasses. I mean, do you guys have?
No, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
But you
I'm not
guys
wearing
have
glasses.
that moment, like as a kid, being like, I don't want to wear glasses. You know, I'm gonna be a nerd.
I was way too young to. I was born into this.
Yeah.
I had no choice.
That it's sort of the same with me. I got glasses in 4th grade, and I got there's a reason I got glasses. So I told a lie because I did not read what I was supposed to read the night before. There was a test that we were being given. Teacher wrote questions on the blackboard. I did not do good at all. Had to go home, take the paper, get it signed. And my mom's like, this is not like you. You always do well. You always pass stuff. What is going on? And to kind of cover ass, I was like, I just couldn't see the question that well. I answered what I thought it was, and I was wrong. And she goes, okay, we're going to go to the eye doctor. And at first, I thought I was caught. And I was like,
wow.
Oh, fuck, this is no good.
And the doctor's like, no, your eyes are fucked up.
He's like, you got bad eyes, boy. Here's some glasses. And I was like, thank fucking God. I remember just being like so happy. I got to retake it. I did well, and everything was fine. So,
Wow, a little white lie got you your glasses. I mean, maybe it was all done on purpose, you know?
it did me better. It did me better in the long run. And I've always been one, man. I've never looked at a person in glasses, even before I got them or since I've had them. I've never been like, nerd.
I've always been kind of jealous. I mean, I'm not jealous in the sense of like I do love my great eyesight, but I was
keep
always
bragging.
jealous as a kid. As like I just always wanted to wear glasses. Like I guess I like to wear sunglasses a lot. I always wish like when I was younger as a kid, I always wanted to have glasses.
It's a cool little accessory, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a cool little accessory to have, and it also provides moments for like great drama. Do you know what I mean? Like you can sit there with your glasses. Chili Beans is doing it now. He did it now. It's that half tucked down and look, or you take them off for impact sometimes, and you close them up.
Or you can
And
do
you
one of
set
these.
them beside you, and that's
Oh,
when
you get a little
paired.
sexy with it.
Yeah, yeah. No, glasses are amazing
worked, by the way.
tools for impact to speech.
Gotta love them glasses.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so that's when I realized more about the show than I remember. Was that it's literally like, oh, here's a scenario what a teenager would deal with, turn it into a robot thing, and then she's got to save the world. Like with The one with the Crust Cousins. There's like the fashion episode. You guys.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, it's all about a teenage girl being, bullied about her body, which is like a normal, sad thing that happens a lot. And then it's like also like my favorite bit is the end of it when those like Toad bikers come in, and they just start like all the fashion girls have like this like motorcycle jumpsuit kind of robot outfit thing, and then the Toads just hop on them and then just drive them away. Yeah. They just leave with them.
So, man, it's the topics that they deal with in this show and the way that they choose to do it through a robot is also, I think, like a little like a chef's kiss, like a little stroke of genius. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, it's because you're talking like body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
You're talking. There was the episode early on where she gets her ears too. She wants earrings because all the girls are getting earrings, and one of the Crust Cousins has her ears pierced for the third time, and she realizes she has no ears. So, is it Sheldon who makes the ears
Yes.
for her?
Probably Sheldon. What a little simp.
Dude. We
That's-
stand Sheldon in this household.
He's the problem with your generation. That's why,
That's it right there.
I learned everything I know about girls from Sheldon.
one OnlyFans model that you follow, and you keep
No, Ben, she loves me. I'm telling you.
She's my queen.
I have to pay her a little more, and then she'll marry me.
That's all that it, but it's just the one. It's not like you're subscribing to a lot of
Look,
porn.
she
You're
called
just-
me babe. Don't you see? She said I was king.
but that's a whole thing. So he is straight simping, like he's in love.
Yeah.
But he makes her these ears that are big, crazy, and goofy. She starts getting picked on for those, even though at first she really likes them. And then all of a sudden she realizes, oh, maybe they're not great. And I forget exactly what happens to them, but they end up getting like ripped off in a battle or something. And then she doesn't have them anymore. And he's immediately like, well, I can make you another set. And she's like, maybe we're okay for now. You know?
Yeah.
I think like she gets caught in them, like the hoops or something,
Wow.
like get caught and she can't like get out of it. And then she rips them off, and that's when she saves the day.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
They
that
become a
reminds
hint-
me of myself in high school because I have like
You
kind
ripped
of
off your ears and, and saved the
I
day.
have kind of now they've gotten a lot smaller because I was smart enough. But I used to have like stretched earlobes when I had my pierced ears. And I would always see like other like dudes around the mall hanging out, high school, whatever, getting bigger and bigger, stitch. I was like, damn, I want to get my ears bigger. And then I got to like a size 0, and it was so obnoxious. I remember like looking at myself in a mirror and be like, this is just so obnoxious and dumb. And I can like feel my ears like, fucking flapping back and forth or whatever. So I ended up taking them out, and now I got normal earlobes, and all those fucking losers have like vagina ears. So,
Big old gaping vagina
yeah.
ears.
So I get where she's coming from.
I mean, and dude, it's your body. Do what you want to with it. Like, I get it. I never understood that for the life of me. But there are people out there that it looks good on. It looks good on until they take them.
Yeah, take them out. I mean, it looks fine, and until you have vagina ears.
And my fear, so I had my nipples pierced for the longest amount of time.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, bro. Like, seriously, for literally years and years and years. Problem is, like, every once and again, you'd be doing something, you'd get too close to something, and you'd catch one of them bitches and not mean to,
Ooh.
and it felt like your whole fucking tip
nipple?
was getting ripped
Yeah.
off. No. I lost one.
Oh, you had both of them done.
Yeah, I had both of them done. Yeah, I was that guy. It was weird. But anyway, I lost one, so I would take the other one to keep the hole clear and clean. I would just move it from one side to the other side before buying new jewelry.
Yeah.
Before I could buy new jewelry, I lost the other one at work, and then I was
And they just
like,
close
fuck
up.
it.
Yeah. I had the same
Yeah.
thing. I had a nose ring too for like many years, and it fell out one time, and I was trying to do a thing where I was like, well, my lip ring and nose ring are the same size, and I was like, that's just fucking disgusting, and then it closed in like a day.
Yup. I still have the scars on either side, and then also like it's it's a whole thing. I was also
you got any
born with an
piercings?
extra hole in my head.
I actually
haven't
don't have any piercings.
If
No,
you
I have
can
plenty of
see it or
tattoos, but-
not, if you can see it, I have a little hole.
Oh, I do
right
kind of see
above-
it. Yeah.
right above my right ear.
You had just that part of your ear pierced?
Never.
Oh.
So here's the kicker, dude. Born with it, and when I was probably like 12 or 13, me and the boys are hanging out, and they wanted to see if it went all the way through. Right? They wanted to see if that hole went all the way through.
Any good friend would do.
Yeah, exactly.
They grab a needle, poke it in there to see if it would go all the way through. It did not, and it hurt like a motherfucker. I had like a weird little trickle of blood coming out of it, and I was like, "We're done.
We're done.
No, it doesn't go through.
The blood is when it stops.
and we're not gonna make it go through. Stop."
I mean, most of the piercings that I have, I mean, I guess now I've taken out a lot of them, but literally we're all done when I was a teenager in like my friend's like living room. My lip ring was done in my friend's bathroom. Except only I got professionally was my nose and my industrial bar. Everything was just me being a dumb teenager. My ears were gauged in the lunchroom period.
Jesus Christ. The amount of infection you potentially expose
Somehow,
yourself to.
never, man, never.
Oh, I knew a girl in college. My first couple of years of college. She got an apprenticeship at a tattoo parlor for piercing, right? And so she was everybody's piercer. And we would go to people's houses, we would smoke weed, get drunk, all of that fun stuff. And then she would just go on a piercing like bender. Like, and she would
On
say,
herself
"That's how I
or
got my
just
nipples
like
done."
on other people or herself or just
No, other people, everybody there, anybody who wanted one, she'd break out the tools in her gloves.
Yeah, I mean
and
that's
just go
kind of how
down.
it goes. Like I had my midway pierced on my ear, and I was just because some chick was doing the same thing, and we were hanging out in Taco Bell.
In Taco Bell, you got it done,
Yeah,
bro. You got some kind of disease. I'm not even playing. I'm sure of it. Like, I'm. So
I don't know. I was
sure of
fucking
it.
17 years old. You know, the world is at my feet. Some cute girls asking to pierce your ear at a Taco Bell. Of course, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, you do that. You do that. That makes sense.
I'm surprised you don't have any piercings though, Chili Beans.
Yeah, no, piercings always avoided me. I don't know. And I had this conversation recently with my tattoo piercer friends, and they were like, "Would you ever?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think piercings are for me. I love them. I think James look good. I think like I
I don't know if I'd get
good.
any more. Like I don't really know anything else. I've thought about getting my nipples pierced. I don't like taking my shirt off very often.
I'm thinking
so
about
it
it
feels
now,
kind of
so-
useless.
Yeah.
And I thought about getting my tongue pierced a bunch, but that's a lot of healing that I don't want to deal with.
And that's inside your mouth.
Yeah, it's
like
just kind of annoying.
that feels like a young thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
Like
mean?
if I got it at 18 and I still have it now, it's like different. Getting my tongue pierced at 30, it's like I'm strolling into like work one day and I can't talk. They're like, "Why can't you talk?" "Sorry, I just got my tongue pierced."
And then that click, that's the thing. That was the biggest turnoff to me for tongue rings is the people I know that had them constantly would play with them. So it's also like a lot of mouth stuff with like the tongue popping out, and then they would clack it against their teeth and all that. Nah. I saw the funniest fucking thing though on Instagram. I know we have a show we're talking about, but I saw hands down the greatest reel ever the other day.
What is it?
And it's all about piercings. There's a lady. She's got a mouthful of metal. She's got her tongue pierced, but she also has braces, and then she also has like 3 lip rings across the bottom.
Okay.
And I don't know what she was doing or how she did it, but she brought her center lip ring up into kind of the gap in her teeth near her braces.
Yeah.
And the ball and the ring got caught.
Oh.
And immediately it's like her bottom lip is stuck inside of her braces with that ring, and she can't get it down. She can't open her mouth. She can't talk. And it was a stitch. So you're like watching this poor girl, and like her eyes, it looks like she's wanting to cry. She's whatever. And then there's a dude. It just immediately cuts to this guy in his car, and he goes, that's a chastity belt for a goat throat. And then just leaves it at that.
Oh my god.
Or for a throat goat. I was like, that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. But it's always shit like that would turn me off to like mouth
Yeah.
stuff. Because
I mean, I've had my lip ring caught on like cups plenty of times. I don't remember the exact what kind of cup it was. No, it's always the red Solo cups, which I don't drink out of them very often. And one time it got like really stuck on there, and I was like, I had the cup in my mouth, and I was like, all right, no one sees me. Like, I'm just gonna pretend that I'm still drinking here, and I'm gonna try to maneuver this off of this cup before anyone notices.
let's see, I would be the exact opposite. I would make sure that everybody in the fucking room saw it. I would get up and go round around, try and find a person to help me out. I would need a
Help
chili
me!
bean.
Ah! Just
Yeah.
waving your arms everywhere.
That's exactly
Ah!
how I
Ah!
my lip, I can't do nothing. But no, so like I like the way they handle the subject matter in this about youth, about growing up, and I also think it's
Look
really,
how much we just like related to all of it, and that was just like one episode.
and I think that's like a large part of the charm of the show, and I think that's also why it's appealing to kids. Apart from the fact that she is near an age, they will soon be those teenagers in high school, all of that stuff. I get the appeal there, but it's also this like almost infantilized teenage looking thing that's still learning as much as they are. And I think I love the sort of subtle messaging in that too to kids, is that you constantly are learning unless you're the adult. You're constantly learning.
Yeah.
But I saw that one, and then in the glasses one, that was the other one. That's the end part of the glasses one that I also thought was hysterical.
I remember. I think I watched the glasses one.
Okay, in order to make, so her mom goes back, realizes, oh, she's not going to be happy, but she's fighting crime without eyes now. So it's this eyeless robot. Horrifying image.
Is it like? Is it?
She takes them out. She literally takes out her eyes, and now she is blind, walking around.
Is it like a
and
Jedi
children-
thing? Is she trying to like sense where they're?
Oh, but bro, famously just falling downstairs
Down.
left and right. Like it's like this hunk of junk
Because
just
a
keeps falling
teenager
down.
rather
stuff.
fall downstairs than wear their
Yeah.
glasses.
So the way the episode ends, though, Mom's fixes her new eyes that look more like her old eyes. They function like the new eyes, a little bit better, but they're slightly less efficient, and they have to have like a battery pack to push them.
Yeah.
So they give her a fanny pack, and she's like, fanny pack, schmanny pack, who cares? Look at these eyes. And she goes, turns around, looks in the mirror, and then while she's looking in the mirror, you get this back view, and it's where she'd like welded the fanny pack on or whatever. Makes it look like she has this huge, just juicy booty on the back of her, right? It's just this huge ass. And then all the kids now have the new thing to poke fun at her with.
Which is
Also
a funny cultural shift, because back in 2003, that was something to make fun of people, but now everybody loves butts now. So like that would have improved in 2024. 2003, be like, you have a big ass, fuck you.
Which also is wild to me. So like there's a massive cultural change. And like largely it is, three white boys talking about women's bodies.
Oh shit, wait.
Yeah, no, I mean really. But here's
I've been
the
muted.
kicker.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, James is like, I'm talking about a cartoon. No, but really, like, it is a weird sort of shift into things, because, like, I remember coming up in the 80s and 90s, it was all about, like, large boobs and tiny butts.
Right,
You wanted,
long
like,
butts. It was like big boobs, long butts.
Yeah, right. Like, basically, like, extended legs.
Yeah.
No butt. And then now it's just all shifted to butt, which is again, wild to me. Like it's great. But then it's also like that's where the poop comes from. So I don't know. I'm mixed up about it. Like I don't know how to think about it, but whatever. It's your body. Do what you want to with it. Who cares? Live your life. But I just I did love how they handled it, and I also thought it was great for the reset at the end of that episode that we do end with now the kids have found the new thing to make fun of her about. Because children are horrible, and they will always find the weakness.
Well,
They will
there's
always
the
find
episode too where she the school finds out. It's a weird episode, but the school finds out she's only 5 years old technically because she was built 5 years ago. So then she has to go back to kindergarten,
Yep.
and like even the kids, like the kindergartners, are making fun of her. They're doing like racist robot dances to her.
This one kid does like a robot dance that turned to James, and I go like, "Is that racist? Is he doing like
I would
cultural
say
appropriation?"
definitely.
He was doing the whole like
100%.
arm thing
Yeah.
and like.
It is. It maybe not racist, but it's definitely racial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
Robotophobic.
a better way to address that, I would say, even for a child. That parent. Is
I mean,
like
as a kid, I didn't pick up on that. I wasn't like, "Oh."
He's like, I
being-
just
was
heard my
like,
dad say it at home, you know.
My dad calls him that when they drive. You know. It's-
Maybe spit my
I
drink.
know he spit his water.
That's the greatest thing. Like, leave it up to fathers too, right? And everybody who's a dad at that point in time is born in like 1950 to 1970. Yeah. Of course they're saying that terrible shit.
But yeah, even
Yeah,
so, these little kids are still fucking mean to her.
I mean, it's really good. It's really good the way they do it. And I can only assume as you get into like the second and third seasons, there can't be a drastic format change in it. Because I mean, you've found what it is. You
Well,
know what the thing is.
Want to hear some fun facts about the seasons?
Huh?
Oh, I
Facts.
love some
Give me
fun facts.
facts.
So the first two seasons, the first season was made 13 episodes, which is pretty short compared to, other cartoon episodes that have come out at the time. So the first season didn't do that great. Then they make the second season, and they don't air it until another full year later. So, and it's not like they were doing a lot of reruns of this show either. So it was basically kind of out the zeitgeist. Suddenly, here it is. Second season bombs. They don't play the third season for another 3 years. And not even on Nickelodeon. They played on the Nickelodeon side network, Nicktoons, and they just aired it without any, minimal promotional and no real, target audience going after, which is kind of crazy. They were just like, oh, let's just dump this third season 3 years later. And they also said time crunch was a thing. They were they had a lot of deadlines that were impossible to meet for the show. So yeah,
That is wild.
yeah.
And to that credit, though, I want to point out, because you said this several times, and I had this constant rebuttal, because I feel like we've all felt that this show feels more like a Cartoon Network show
It does. I think so.
than a Nickelodeon show. And I don't know this particularly, but I know that at least with the Disney Channel, from what I can gather in interviews with different show creators of different cartoons at the time, it was basically every other network was trying to keep up with Cartoon Network.
Yeah, because Cartoon Network had a lot of shit going on.
They
at the
just
time.
had banger after banger after banger.
I mean,
They were
Nickelodeon
putting
had
out
some
so
shit. I
many.
mean, they still had Rugrats, Wild Thornberries.
Yeah.
I think even at Ren Stimpy was Nickelodeon, wasn't
It was originally,
Ren and
yeah.
Stimpy.
And then it was
Yeah.
Spike
Big
TV.
Nick.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was later.
Spike TV
yeah.
picked it up. But,
But yeah, but Nickelodeon had some. Yeah, but Cartoon Network was at the top of this game.
so I can't imagine there was, you know what I mean? Because it is raunchy feels like the wrong word, but it definitely feels more aged up. I feel like one of the reasons why I may have been more into this show than a lot of other ones as a kid is because I didn't feel pandered to. It wasn't. It
Sure, yeah.
Watching it now as a
I still don't feel
27-year-old,
that pandered to. Yeah, watching,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm it's just still good. It's still funny. Ben, you said that you enjoyed it. You had a
Yeah.
great time watching it.
Bought and sold from
Right.
the beginning. Bought in.
So they made it clearly a lot of heart, but obviously they put more mature themes in it, like not as much as say Ren and Stimpy, but things that were like a little more difficult to deal with. And it's like, it wasn't as like cutesy friendly as.
And there's some dirty jokes in there.
There are quite a few dirty jokes.
There's the one where it's like their puberty kind of episode where she gets like infected by that like little bug
cluster.
robot. Yeah, the cluster, little bug thing. And then she literally grows boob, and so it's like a bunch of different sound effects, right? She gets like armpit hair, and then the dude, Brad, he's like making all different noises. He's like, oh, and then she like pokes boobs, and then he's like, ooh, yeah,
and then he's like stunted for a second.
Yeah.
Like,
So shit like that to me is, I mean, yeah, you're right. Okay, it doesn't pander to children, but it also handles them, their feelings, and what they're gonna go through in a way that is, I don't think it's it's not like an exploitation way they're handling it.
right.
It's also not it's not necessarily meant to titillate, but it fucking comes through in a way that like, hey, people are gonna start changing. Things are gonna start. It's. I don't know. I don't know, man. This show being a sleeper makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
For the time, it literally was probably 20 years too early.
Probably.
I would say so.
I mean, do you have any favorite characters in this, man, besides Jenny herself?
Well, I mean, I'm partial to ladies named Jenny. But no, I dug Jenny. I dug the mom a lot, and even though he is a simp, I did like Shelton. I like the main players, but
even as a simp, he was still helpful.
Yeah.
My favorite though is it like his younger brother or the young
Tuck,
neighbor.
Tuck.
Yeah,
He's the man.
Tuck.
He's the fucking man. The
Tuck
guy lives
is-
in. I knew you would love him because that
Tuck
guy
is the comedic relief in a comedy show.
And that dude lives in toilets. Every episode, he's coming out of a toilet for some reason. And there's one episode they talk about, he's like, oh, you know where your brother is? And the dude Brad's like, no, I don't know. He probably flushed himself down the toilet again. Like, this kid just lives in toilets.
So we've got our dear friend Joey K in the chat. Loves this show.
Yeah.
So the other thing though is with Tuck, one of my favorite little Tuck bits was I want to say it's like episode 3 or 4, somewhere in there. He's got she's throwing a party. The mom's going out of town, right? And it's an adults only party that they're throwing.
Yeah.
So all the teenagers from the school, right? Tuck wants to go, and he's like, and we're going to play pin the tail on the donkey, and it's going to be so good. And then when they tell him no, he throws a tantrum and then picks up the phone to call her mom. And is immediately like, hey, it's me. It's, this is Tuck from next door. I just wanted to tell you. And they're like, fine, fuck it, you can come. I just wanted to tell you I love you. Okay, bye. And then he hangs up the phone. I just want to tell you I love you. She was so confused on the back end of that conversation, and that I think is the part that warmed me up the most. Like, how confused Jenny's mom was in her reply. She's like, well, okay. Great.
All right.
Thanks for the love.
So, and in that one too, this is the other part that I really dug about it. And particularly the first half of the first season does it so well. And I'm curious to know if it continues. But they handle tropes that you see in high schooler shows like
I mean, sure.
Freaks.
I was even Shelton when we were watching that first episode. I was like, oh, this is his supervillain origin story. And then it's not. He ends up being, he's part of the team.
But it easily could have shifted the other direction. But it's like that party episode instantly reminded me of Freaks and Geeks when they have the party and everybody goes out. You know what I mean? It's the way they sort of handle all of this stuff with kids and the way they hit the tropes that you've seen on your like sitcoms and everything else. It's and that's also why I think it's probably ahead of its time. Same with Freaks and Geeks. One episode, perfect show.
Yeah.
One season and done. And it was perfect.
Either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
There, right? Exactly. Exactly. And I really got a kick out of that. And when she kicks everybody out of the house, I love big moments with Jenny in this. I love her big moment when she finally pops and she's like, "Everybody out!" And then she kicks them all out of the house, and then it's just this destroyed. And then she and her friends have to clean it up. And in the back of my head, I'm like, "Well, you're a fucking superpowered robot."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know, you got 8 arms. You could be like, you know, or knocking my shit over.
Not fucking banging on the walls and shit.
Yeah, robots could do that.
Joey says he thought it was robot Kim Possible.
He's not far off.
That's not inaccurate, no. But the thing about this too, like we discussed a little bit earlier, was that like Kim Possible, she was like a secret spy, right? So she
Yeah,
went
that's
to high
right,
school
yeah.
and had to hide the fact she was a spy. But in this show, everyone's like, yeah, no, Jenny's the superhero, and oh, she left chemistry, she had to go fucking fight an alien from space. And
That
that's
no one seems to care about,
And that's one thing I want to touch on too with this show, and I feel like that we kind of lost. I feel like we've sort of moved out of this zone of like making a show that feels very like grounded in like a high school situation, and then also making like a good superhero show. Like sometimes there are full episodes where she's just fighting aliens.
Yeah, I mean, there is some good,
There's full on like
what, there's a real villain. I mean, she has her main villain. What's her name? Starts with a V,
the
right?
it's she's the head of the Cluster Prime.
Yeah.
Vagina ears.
Something like that, yeah.
Close,
Yeah.
close. I think it may have been Vectress.
Vectress, something like that, yeah.
There you go.
Voiced by somebody famous that I also don't remember, so I'm going to pull it up.
So doing a little bit of Googling on the Mouse Team Show. We all say we're such big fans. I'm like, wait, who was her main
Because
villain's
I know
name?
the villain,
Who was her
Vexus,
number one?
So it's Vexus.
Vexus.
Yeah, there we
Vexus.
go.
This is
Played
why
by
we
Arthur
actually
Kidd.
need a real researcher there, Chili Beans. We need a real researcher to keep us
Look,
straight
I got
there.
it. Look, it was fucking Vexus. It was played by Arthur Kidd, who was also Catwoman and Batman, and
Yes.
in the Emperor's New Groove as the evil witch queen lady.
Well, Eartha Kitt had an amazing career in general. And one of my favorite things to see an older actor do, so when they're like maybe past their prime, or when getting out and pulling those like 12, 14-hour days, they can't do it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wears on them. It tears on them.
I mean, Brad Dourif most recently said he's only doing Chucky voice now. He's not acting anymore.
And to be able to just like make that shift and go
Yeah.
into voice acting, it takes a talent. And I think it almost takes a better actor when people can't necessarily see you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For that inflection, for that whatever, to bring a person into a moment through voice. Yeah, there is a visual to it, but for the actor themselves, you lose the people in
Yeah.
general, and you just find character in that. And I think that is, I
That's
think,
why I
very
hate
strong.
modern voice acting. It pisses me off.
You what?
I hate modern voice acting. Because it's just like now we just got celebrities. Like sometimes it's
Talking.
funny. Like, it's like, oh, look, we got this random Keanu Reeves cameo in like Toy Story. It's like, all right, I mean, that's funny. But it's also like, I miss voice actors. Like when I watch Mario or Garfield and I got to listen to Chris Pratt, it's just like, that's just
And it's just Chris Pratt. He's not doing anything with his
Yeah.
voice. He's not doing it. He's just like, oh, hey, guys, I'm Chris Pratt. I'm Mario.
Exactly.
What is it you guys put in your
Gotta get
text?
the princess.
IDGAF. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a
That's it.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care when it comes down to that. If it's just them talking, I don't want it. It's like when Larry the Cable Guy is the tow truck, and it's Larry the Cable
Yeah.
Guy. I would rather have an old Hollywood actor in like his 50s, 60s, 70s doing a Larry the Cable Guy.
That was also
Yeah.
very
voice.
stylized. That was also like, that was incredibly stylized. Same thing with Vectress here. You know what I mean? Like, I said her name wrong again, but like same thing. Like
Vexus.
it's such a Vexus. It's a totally stylized voice. Like Mater in Cars is like, they kind of match the animation of this car to fit that
To
voice.
fit Larry the Cable
Larry
Guy.
the Cable Guy.
Again, though, to my point, I would prefer it be an elderly,
Yeah.
like somebody old doing a voice instead of the
Well,
guy who does the voice. being,
like most recently, we talked Transformers, right? Fucking Orson Welles as Unicron, which is like the coolest thing ever.
Yep.
Like,
and that was good Orson Welles too. We'll go back to that. Was like piss drunk doing wine commercials.
that was
can't
like on his
remember
deathbed,
lines.
Orson Welles.
Was that was his
Yeah.
last movie, right?
Literally,
Orson Welles'
literally
last movie.
recorded it on his deathbed.
Like but I see such a range in voice acting that you won't necessarily get everywhere else. And you can be and do anything. Why not put some sauce on those voices
Yeah.
today? You put some sauce on it, make it something special.
Let me look up who voiced the.
I think
the
this.
robot.
I think like the entirety of this is something that I've been thinking about a lot myself recently, and that like people just appreciate things that are made with such love and care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When people inflect their voices, when people spend time writing a show that not only feels like a show that appeals to kids and also appeals to older teenagers, but also is a good superhero show. When you're trying to juggle all of these things and you do it in a way that means a lot to you, people pick up on that. And it makes for a good
dude.
show. Yeah, it reads. It entirely reads. And the same thing with the voice acting. Like, the inflections, like them altering their voice. Because we were like, I forget his name, but the guy who plays Fry.
Oh, Billy West.
Billy West is
Billy
a bunch of
West.
voices on this show.
He popped
Tara
in-
Strong pops in a couple times.
My dude, I'm just gonna say it out loud because Billy West is hands down one of my favorite voice actors.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably anybody's one of the. It's a very.
I think it's a
bland
lot of
thing to
people's
say.
without them even like realizing it.
Without them knowing how much.
Yeah.
And
he's
that's the
actually
key
done.
to that. That is like the true essence of voice acting, right? Is
Yeah,
that
and it has and this guy too here, Kevin Michael Richardson. He did the Joker on Batman. I mean, he's literally in every show. Family Guy,
Yeah, he's literally in
Invincible,
all the-
Krabopolis, American Dad. Like this guy's literally been in like every show, like animated show you can possibly think of. And he played. I think I even heard Phil Lamar's voice at one point in the show. Because that guy's
Dude,
kind of everywhere too.
So
Goro,
and
he
that's
voiced
the other
fucking
thing,
Goro.
like particularly with and I'll use him because he's one of my favorite. Billy West. When you don't know it's him, you can't tell who it is. It could be a completely different actor doing like 3 voices in a show, or they could have a different actor for each of those voices. The second you're able to hear Billy West
Yeah.
in it, you can't not hear.
Well, that's
him
what it
when
was
he-
when he pointed it out. Like I actually didn't really notice it, and he was like, "I think that's Fry," and then I listened to it, and I was like, "Oh, that is Billy West."
And like my introduction to Billy West, like I knew of him from cartoons. Like I'd seen the name and stuff and all that coming up, but where I really knew Billy West from was the Stern Show. Like when Jackie Martling quit, they brought Billy West in for a while. And he'd been a frequent guest and he'd always done voices.
Yeah,
He used to do
was
these-
he a voice actor at this time?
Yes.
I assume
yeah.
so because it's the '90s.
So he would show up, well, like while he was on Ren and Stimpy,
Yeah,
while he
yeah.
was doing that, he would come on the Stern Show and he would, pimp whatever he's doing. But he voiced the Jackie puppet. So whenever they would have Jackie Martling say particularly terrible things, it was always Billy as the Jackie puppet. Do you guys remember who Marge Schott was?
No.
Okay,
No.
so great, perfect. Time in history, I'm an old man. Marge Schott was this horrible old woman. She's a horrible old woman, and she used to own the Cincinnati Reds, but she was known for she would go on like Nightline. She would go on all these like news shows and say horrible, terrible racist things about like her players, about whatever,
Damn.
talking about, super old crazy stereotypes about like extra muscles and legs in certain ethnicities of players, things like that, right? So Billy would come on the Stern Show and he did a spot on Marge Schott impression, and they would just load him with the most foul things to say. And at a certain point, he would go on a tirade. You couldn't tell that it's not Marge Schott in the room with you. It was that good of an impression. And literally it's bananas. But I love Billy West because of Stern. And then the more I got interested in like, who is this guy always on Ren and Stimpy, the older I get, internet shows up all of a sudden like, oh, Billy West is in everything I love.
Yeah.
He's in everything I love. And I don't know.
I didn't know he was Fry, for the longest time, to be honest.
He's also the professor
Yeah. Yeah.
on there.
Which is funny because the Fry is actually like the closest to his normal voice.
Yeah.
He said in an interview that the reason why he like did Fry in his normal voice is for the job security. They couldn't fire him from the show because then they would lose the voice of Fry.
I guess that makes sense because they're related, so.
Right. Yeah. No, that completely makes sense. I would have known that had I not slept through that episode.
He's also Zap Brannigan.
Is he Zap Brannigan too?
He's Zap Brannigan too.
I actually didn't know that. Shit.
Here's a root with some chest hair.
So there you go. Fucking this guy, Billy West, fucking everywhere.
And then in this show, he was like, "Jenny, is that true? Can you fix my Bunsen burner?" Like, it's incredible.
He's again a national treasure, should be protected at all costs. Like he's
And Tara
he's
Strong
awesome.
is in this too. I don't remember what she was like a robot, right?
Yeah, she was. I also forget that kid's that little. He's a little. She's a little wind-up toy robot.
Right.
And it's a very like Timmy Turner, like
Tara Strong,
voice.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like it sounds a lot like Timmy Turner. But
I love Tara Strong, man. She's
oh,
just, I think she's Raven on Teen Titans.
I think she's like the biggest. Like she's like the Billy West of like our generation.
Oh, for
she
sure.
was Bubbles in Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah,
she's
Timmy
Raven
Turner.
on Teen Titans. Timmy
Yeah.
Turner. Ben 10. She was Ben 10.
Oh, she was Ben 10 also.
She was Ben 10 too. Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, Tara Strong's the shit, man. I know most recently she was on the Loki show as one of some characters, so she's working.
The Miss Minutes, right? I didn't
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
that show. I know who that is.
So Tara Strong is everywhere too. So that's why I love these voice actors, man. Like all these people are out there, they're still working. It's like why are we casting Chris Pratt and everything? These people are out there working.
He is so cool.
Fuck you. No, he's not. He's not. They're still trying to get that. What do you call it? That get on that Parks and Rec money with Chris Pratt and all this.
But it's just like it makes me think that like your movie sucks even more and your character sucks, that you can't make people believe and like your character, that they have to bring in a Chris Pratt or whoever the fuck, Ryan Reynolds, to
Right.
voice that character.
Because it's not going to sell unless you have like
Yeah.
that name attached to it.
So it's a thing that that we deal with in what we do a lot as well. And I hate to say it this way, but I almost look at it as stunt casting.
Yeah,
is a
I mean that's exactly what, especially these voice actings do. There's all
Yeah.
stunt casting.
Because there's and I won't go off naming names or talk about anything too much out of school, but on the project that we're working on, I was approached about a potential actor coming on to that project. Wait a minute.
Just giving you the finger, the
And
waving
I
finger,
says
not
to
the
someone,
finger.
I says, do you know what
There,
that
now-
sounds like? I says, that sounds like stunt casting. You told me in the past something like that would be stunt casting and that we should focus on discovering people. So why don't we focus on discovering people? You know what we're going to do for that character? Discover people.
Nice.
So
There you go. That's what you should do, man. I mean, I get it. You need, you fucking on our level too. If we have someone of any name, it's like, oh shit, look, we got someone to put on the poster. But I don't know.
But
I've never watched even this show, My Teenage Robot. I never watched this show, thinking, man, I wish whoever the fuck the famous actor was in 2002 was voicing, Jenny. I never thought about that kind of shit
It
watching.
would have
these
been like
things.
Britney Spears or something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know,
It
something
would've been
stupid. Who knows?
some kind of
2002, but whatever. But it's like I've watched these cartoons my whole life, even like Batman the animated series. I never the voices just made the character better rather than me ever thinking. I mean, I know and I love those voice actors, but it's like I didn't need to really know it. I just needed the character to be good and then
you
the sound
needed
good.
the character.
Yeah.
So this is another crazy thing. It's like and I think South Park arguably does it the best, right? When Winona Ryder came on and she was going through that big lull in her career, But then she was a voice of the teacher that Wendy Testerberger hated because because Stan was in love with the teacher and he would start vomiting every time he saw her.
Yeah.
It was Winona Ryder. Had you not told me that was Winona
Yeah,
Ryder,
I never knew that.
would never know. George Clooney as the dog, and all he does is bark.
Park, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. If you're gonna get weird with stunt casting, get really weird with it. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because George Clooney was like the biggest thing on the planet, and he wanted to be in South Park. That was the other part of it too.
Yep.
Like
and
he
they're
asked
"Here's
to
how
be, and they
we're
were like,
gonna
"Yeah,
do it."
here's you can play the dog."
and it's almost got to be like this. I would think for a George Clooney at that time, not only there's a level of humility that has to go into it, right? That's kind of a humbling experience. Oh, you don't want me to come on and be the doctor in the doctor episode? No, we want you to be the dog. I just come in and I bark. Yeah. Will you do it for free? Will I bark for you for free? Okay. Here we go. He might.
You really think he did it for free? I don't think he did it for free.
He might have gotten like $200 for that day.
Yeah.
But I mean, in George Clooney, that's like doing it for nothing.
I guess that's
you
true.
know,
That's fair. His
He
free
wipes
is
his
still
butt
like,
with-
a couple grand.
yeah. I mean, he probably wipes his butt with what Comedy Central could have paid him.
Yeah.
You know, because Comedy Central at that point in time, while big, it was also not
Not George Clooney
As-
big. Yeah.
not George Clooney big. No. But anyway, in this, back to my life as a teenage robot, it also plays on like those 90s sort of dramedy shows like My So-Called Life, anything dealing with teen angst, teen experience. I don't necessarily feel like the show parodies it, but they bring it into their world in very creative and very interesting ways.
That's why I think the show is so appealing, is it does that. It doesn't like force a thing on you. It's just, here's a teenager dealing with teenager stuff, but also there's robots crashing down.
Yeah.
And we have to save the world from, giant lizards or whatever.
So the other amazing thing that I think this show does is it like okay, so teen experience, teen whatever, all of that stuff. It's the way it kind of blends what was becoming a more modern animation style with an older animation style, and then sprinkling in almost a little bit of anime sort of stuff.
Definitely,
You can get,
Oh, you can tell the
Yeah.
anime influences on it for sure.
Especially with Jenny, some of the action stuff too. And yeah, I mean, that's why I say this is so weird. It's a Nickelodeon show, because Nickelodeon had like an aesthetic to what their shows were, and Cartoon Network. So did Cartoon Network, and this feels like this weird like amalgamation of kind of both of those. Especially like the way the backgrounds are drawn feels like a lot like a Gen D thing. Like Powerpuff Girls or like
or like Dexter.
Yeah. And then, but then the way the characters kind of talk and move are kind of like more anime. It's like they really do. And the movie that you fortunately couldn't get to watch, Mr. Ben Johnson, they do some. They even do some CG in there too. They sneak in some like, because she goes to an alien planet, so they kind of add some weird like 3D in there. So the show kind of goes all over the place with their style, and somehow still marries it all together.
So we've got a like what I like in sort of the art style to it too, and it's again we've talked about it ad nauseum on here, but it's when we lose the background for like any sort of like decoration, any sort of like idea of what room we're in, what space we're in. And then they go to like a solid blue wall with like speckles, or you can see like pink accents and hues and stuff like that in it. Those backgrounds always remind me of like 50s, 60s cartoons.
Like Hanna-Barbera shit, right?
Very much Hanna-Barbera shit, like 110%. And it's like it's one of those things that like I find charming. I understand the reasons that they do it, but it's also it feels sometimes it can feel sloppy and kind of cheap. But then in something like this, you can tell it's very stylized and it's very purposeful.
Yeah, I mean, it's
in what they
usually
do.
around to like convey an emotion without
Yes.
having to do a lot.
It's like I think it's sort of similar to like when we were watching Super Jail, and a lot of the color schemes would change, and a lot of all that. They do so much with color in this.
Yeah, a
that-
lot.
Oh
that
yeah.
it really is exceptional. It's
I
exceptional.
mean, that's what I think it helps. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, maybe because now it'd be different with technology, but like the fact that the creators of the show would take forever to make is kind of crazy to me, because the characters in a good way look like they're designed specifically to animate faster and just give them bright colors and just, like there's not a lot of detail in them. Like if you look at Jenny, right, she's just blue and white with some lines around her, and then she got a round face. So it's like pretty, like that seems like a pretty artist favor kind of character, because you got the right angles, you got like triangle ears. Like that's like shit that I feel like would make your life easier as an artist, especially trying to make something consistent, move around.
Well, and as we're talking about this too, I was thinking, I want to point out too, there's a bit of rubber hose in this animation, like specifically with Jenny and maybe some of the enemies that she fights. But you notice that like a lot of times when she like changes, like, she comes out with all these gadgets and like her arms extend and she does all these crazy things with her body, and it kind of reminds me of like, those 30s cartoons where like people would just like animate into really weird things out of like nowhere. But in this show they do it in a way it's like, okay, it is robotic. Like you can I was talking to you about, there was the fashion episode, right, where she was like competing with the Crust Cousins on like, the competing styles. When she changed her look, you could follow what she was doing to like change that look. It wasn't just like, now she's like
different. Yeah, taking this part off and that part stays off,
and that part stays on, and this comes out, and that goes over
Yeah.
there, and now she looks entirely different. But
until she's like a stick.
exactly, yeah, and then they ripped everything out of her, and then she was a stick.
I like how she pulls out all her weapons. She's like, "Take it all out of me. Get rid of it all."
Get it all out. Get it all out. But like, and again, it's I don't know. I remember going through a lot of those changes and then being like, I wish I could rip everything inside of me out of me.
Yeah.
Also, you know what I mean? And usually for me,
But it
was
teaches you that you need those things. Like that's
it was like
Makes you
a
who you
post-embarrassing moment, and you just want to like bury yourself somewhere, and you're like, just take my guts, take my heart, take everything, take these lungs. I don't want to live no more. That kind of stuff. Yeah. Dwayne's back in the chat talking about something called What a Cartoon. I've never seen
That's
that.
a Cartoon Network thing.
Yeah.
And he's also talking about this new Me TV tunes, which I've been seeing around a lot. I haven't really looked into it, so I don't know much about it. Apparently, they're doing some, I'm assuming, free kind of cartoon channel thing, it looks like.
That's perfect. I'll be like, sign me up. Sign me up. I was telling him if it's the old school stuff. And again, guys, thanks for hanging out in the chat. We've got Viper, a Toxic Wolf, back with us in the chat again tonight.
Sick.
It's a friend of mine from the Haunt. From the Haunt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Getting spooky.
Yeah.
You just had your new, you just had a haunt, right? The halfway to the Halloween.
Oh, that's what I did last weekend. That's the thing I didn't bother to talk about. But yeah, we did our halfway to Halloween. So we're gearing up for September 13th. Main season kicks back off, and it's gonna be baller. But yeah, the halfway haunt was unreal, guys. No robots, but it's the one time a year. I will tell you this: that we break out all the movie monsters come out during halfway.
Nice.
That's
So
pretty
we had a roaming Freddy, we had our Jasons, our Michael Myers, our Pinheads, all of that roaming around. It was really, really good. It was a good time. I watched it all from retail, and then Jen came out for it too.
Oh, did she
which
go in
was-
it? She did the thing?
Oh yeah, I made her go through. She brought the lady who does her hair, and they went through. They went and got him a couple of beers at like a little pizza place beforehand. Came through, did the haunt, headed back. It was awesome. It was a good time.
That
But
sounds fun.
that has nothing to do with any
No.
of this. However,
I know.
however,
However,
when I look at it, when I look at a show like this, and like I told you guys before, I am gonna go through, and this is one of the few that I really am. I'm gonna actually finish. I'm gonna keep watching
if
it.
Paramount lets you.
Yeah, right.
If it lets me, if I can ever see the end of this episode, because like holy balls, like
Dude,
what a
the
setup.
finale movie is really awesome. It's about Jenny. She's gonna go to the robot planet to see what's up. So she goes there, but when she gets there, no one recognizes her at first, and she ends up going to robot high school, and then hanging out with some like robot teenagers, going and enjoying the city, and she's having like the best time ever. And she's like, "Wow, Robot City's pretty amazing. I think I'm gonna like live here." Now, while on Earth, Vexus is there with the rest of the robots taking over Earth, and the humans are all fighting them. Like, "Oh, where's Jenny? We need Jenny." But what makes it, like, you talk about defying tropes a bit. While Jenny is dealing with robot shit, like the humans end up actually figuring out ways to beat the robots, like in like the middle of it, and are just actually like there's a huge robot human war, and the humans are like winning. Like they like it's really funny. And but Jenny's just enjoying her life over at the robot planet. But then Jenny finds out, she goes to this one of the classes. It's like I don't know what's like I don't know what it's called, but whatever. She's in like a lecture, yeah. And they play this like propaganda like video about Jenny, about what was it,
XJ9.
XJ9,
J9.
about her being the killer of robots, and how she's not like she stole the reason, because all the other robots too in the movie have powers. They're basically kind of like regular humans, but as robots. And the propaganda is that it's Jenny's fault because she took their like heart, which is like these little gold heart things that gives them powers. She destroyed them all, so none of the robots could be in peace, and she wants to destroy the robot nation and protect the humans. And that's what they're all like taught. And they like show all these like photos of hers with like horns on and shit, like on fire and like huge and destructive. And then it's just like Jenny trying to like hide her face, in the middle of class. Like,
It's not me, I swear. I don't really think that way.
and then it gets like kind of nutty too, because then she's like trying to get away, and then she's like, so the chick that she's friends with ends up being Vexus's daughter, which is also cool. And then Vexus's daughter's walking off, and this like robot bus is like, "Oh, I should have charged my battery last night. I'm falling asleep," and he like falls asleep as he's going downhill. So the bus is coming towards your friend, and then she has this moment of like, "Do I save her? If I save her, people will know that I have my powers, whatever." And then she just like puts on like, she grabs like one of like the capes, like the flags or whatever for the robot world, and puts on a mask, and then becomes like a secret superhero in like the robot like
Yeah, in the robot high school, yeah.
Dude, I like again, it's and in those moments you always think the human robot war, it's always going to be robots have the extreme advantage from the beginning. I love the fact that they put the humans in the lead.
Yeah, the humans. That's because the humans realize they can just spray them with water, so that becomes like a thing. Like some like little kid
Little
shoots,
signs reference.
Yeah. Some like little kid shoots one with like a little war gun and it dies, and that just becomes like they're like part of their rebellion.
So, okay, come with me if you will down this road.
Yeah.
If there was a human robot war, if there really, really was, like, do you think the robots have lasers at this point in time? By the time we get there, right? Once they have fully assimilated.
I mean, I'd
once they
imagine if
become
they're in a
fully
war,
self-aware.
yeah, they would come up with something.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if lasers could really work, right? I mean, lasers can't really work in real life like that.
I mean, they can. They make lasers that shoot through people. You can't make them in like a gun size, but they exist.
You can just.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but like, what do you think they come with? Do you think they come with like guns? Do you think they go in like raid? Like, how does the robot uprising?
I would say it's
really
more
start?
brutal. I would say like the robots have like saw arms and shit like that. You know
Yeah,
what
I mean,
Like
I
they're-
think
yeah.
it's full Terminator. I think they nuke us first because they're in our systems, and then it's like, yeah, saw arms and giant robots coming in, just mutilating and destroying humans.
They're also just metal, so they could just punch you
Yeah,
and fucking do
exactly,
a lot of damage.
yeah.
Yeah.
It starts. That's where it starts. So you're absolutely right.
And then they'll harvest us like the Matrix. You know, it'll be like Terminator, and then it'll be the Matrix.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I think you're largely right. But it has to start from inside the systems. It has to start from
Yeah.
inside like the missile systems.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it starts with nuclear blast, 100% first.
What happens though? Okay, now again, come with me down this road. What happens when they nuke the wrong thing? When like let's say they blew up the supercomputer that keeps them all running. Obviously they should know where that is, and they are robots, so they should be very precise. But let's say they're off like a fraction in whatever their programming is, and they accidentally blow out the internet, the main internet, and then they take themselves all offline. Is that not a possibility?
I guess it could, but you would think that a computer would know, right? I mean, a computer is meant to be so precise. Like, could they even fuck up if they wanted to?
Hang on. Your friend Reeves is now, and I say he's your friend.
He quits the
Because I
movie and
know-
now he's our friend.
Now he's in the chat, so I give him to you. No, he is my dear friend, and I'm very excited to see him. But your friend is asking how much longer you guys are doing this, so you can
He's
go
just
and
putting
drink
our
with him.
location in the chat, you know, for the
Yeah,
world
right.
to
He's gonna
see.
dox us here until it's doing.
You know, I will say this too. I'm happy he's shown up. And I will. This is as public as I get in front of the 4 people that are watching this besides me. This is how public my apology will be. I've been giving Reeves a hard time the last couple of 3 weeks. Very privately. I like to give him a very hard time. At one point, and this was still my favorite thing because I think it was very clever. There's a song by Kenny Rogers called Lucille, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to it one morning, and then I sent Reeves the video, and I said to him, I am both men in this song, and you are Lucille. That's what I said. I said, I am both men. Because the one guy approaches the hot lady at the bar who's having a rough time, and he's going to take her home until her ex comes up and is like, oh, girl, you left me high and dry, 4 hungry children and a crop in the field. And now when the guy takes the girl back to the motel room, he can't bang her because he just keeps hearing what the other guy said, and he knows this chick's going to leave him. So I was like, Reeves, you're both dudes in that song. I'm both dudes in that song. You're Lucy. You're the lady who leaves me. As much as I want to approach you, you're the one that leaves.
Well, besides Reeves trying to kick us out, we should start going. We are an hour and 40 minutes in, so we should start going around Robin here. Now I can go around. Because remember last week you're like, oh, I can't do that because only both
No,
of
it's
us.
back and forth. It's
Yeah.
back and forth.
Now I can
Well,
go.
now we have
Now
like
I
one other
go-
part of a circle. Yeah.
I can go around again. But Chili Beans, we'll start with you. What are you giving the show? What are your final thoughts? What
He's
do you got
asking.
from
He's
us?
asking the guy who begged him to watch the show what his thoughts on the show were. Final thoughts on it though, before
Yeah,
I
what do you
give my
got?
yay or nay. I mean, it's just like so many things that we brought up in here, like the coloring, the aspect of the high school student, the aspect of the superhero part of it. It really was a sleeper hit, and it had quite a few seasons. I think it ran for like 6 or 7 seasons.
3 seasons.
Oh, it only ran 3 seasons.
That's what I said earlier. The first 2 seasons aired a year apart from each other, so nobody really watched it. And the 3rd season came out 3 years later, only on
Wild.
Nicktoons.
Wild.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was only 3. I thought they had more than that.
It
But-
just was
but-
on for 7 years, just only had 3 seasons.
I see. Okay, because I remember on Nicktoons watching a lot of the reruns and stuff like that, and every time they were on, it was on. But yeah, had this show come out 20 years later, I think this would have been like one of the more popular shows. I think it was a victim of the marketing at the time. You know, just people didn't really see it. I happen to be one of those lucky few kids that saw those ads in the beginning that was like, watch the premiere, and then I watched the first episode and was like, holy shit. and became obsessed with it. And I think about it a lot. I think about it a lot in my
Every
in the
day.
work that I do every day. I think about Jenny every single day. I am Sheldon pilled. I told
Well, if you guys
James that-
get a production office, put a photo of Jenny up.
Put
somewhere.
a photo of Jenny up. I'm gonna put that up tonight so that when Ben comes over, it'll be there.
That's-
The hot
that
rod
goes
Jenny,
in-
which we never talked about. There's a hot rod Jenny
Oh, it's
variant.
Hot Rod Jenny.
But I'm gonna give that a big fat success, James. I'm gonna give that a big fat success.
Oh, my phone didn't connect.
Damn, I didn't cue that up properly. Hang on. Everyone disregarding
wait.
what I just said. Tell me when I can go. Hang on, we're going for take two in the live show.
Yeah, take two. I mean, like I say
All right.
all the time.
Well,
This,
James, I'm gonna give that a big fat
Keep going.
success.
I'm still
Fuck!
connected. Okay.
You said I was okay.
But,
This is
all right. We're all right. I'm on
Okay.
now. I'm on now.
All right.
Success.
There we go.
Success.
Sometimes my phone automatically connects, and I just assume it's connected, and then it's not connected. But
Success.
well, you know what they say when you make an
Success.
assumption, right?
they make an ass out of you and everyone here on Totally Toonular.
Everyone in the chat, everyone on the show.
All right, but yeah, big success.
Big success.
Success.
Mr. Yarnietti, for the guy who's never watched the show before, that doesn't have the nostalgia attachment that we have. What are your final thoughts? What are you giving it? What do you got for us?
Well, first I will say massive success. Yes, 100%.
Success.
I said it at the beginning. I've said it throughout. I'll say it again. I was thoroughly impressed. I was bought in from the theme song. I'm an easy get with a good theme song. Like you'll get me to watch anything with a good theme song, at least the first episode. But then every time it came on, I just kept smiling. It just made me happy. So like
She gets frosted in the rain.
but I dig the characters. I like the world that we got introduced to. There's a lot of fun to be had. It's smart. It doesn't talk down to people, and yeah, it's just a big, huge success.
Success.
Yeah, big huge.
And what
success.
about you, James? How do you
Oh yeah,
feel?
dude, I love the show. I mean, I said I grew up like I haven't watched it in 20 years. Like I literally do not remember any of these episodes, but I watched this shit a fuck ton when it was on TV. And I said it last week actually on the show. Where I was like, man, I remember watching this, and then it was just kind of gone out of my life. And now knowing that it was on for 7 years and only had 3 seasons, now that makes like a lot of sense to me. Why it just kind of came and just disappeared out of my life as fast as it was there.
As fast as it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a little bit in there, and then just bammo, goners. You
And
know what I
and
mean?
now like I think too of like how many other cartoons was that like for me? Like how many cartoons did I watch regularly that were one day gone and then never saw them ever again? But hey, I guess
I know.
that's why we have the show. But yeah, I love this, man. The animation style is still sick. It does say a lot. Like I mean, it brought up memories between all of us just talking about something that she's going through. So it's like, really think it's sick for a show that can still hold up like this. Because I mean, a show like My Teenage Robot, My Life as a Teenage Robot is like, would that still hold up watching it in your 40s? You would.
It
think
does.
Clearly it does, yeah.
It does. So.
And the thing is, had I not known this was 2003, I would have thought it was in the last 5 years.
Yeah, and if this show wasn't in 4:3, the animation would still hold up.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? I mean,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
the fourth, but like if you look at that like the aspect ratio, you're like, oh, that's made for different TV. But if it was a full 16:9, you would never know that shit was made in 2002, 2003.
Never would have known. Never would have known. And yeah, just a good show. A good
Yeah.
show. But I mean, we're at that point, James, where we need to tell people if they want to send us an email, they can email us at totally.toonular
Yes.
and gmail.com.
Yeah,
And
do it.
You guys have to go drink with Keanu's last name.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see.
The bigger question here is, though, guys, James, what are we watching next week
man.
when I'm sitting on your
boy.
couch?
And you know what? If you, I mean, I'm assuming you might be around Chili Beans tomorrow, next week. So, because I know if Ben's
Potentially.
around, you guys aren't doing the same thing, so you're probably also will be around if you want to join us on the couch. But next week's going to be an interesting episode. So like I said earlier, we're doing watch-alongs, right, for the next month. So I'm going to do a little bit of a preview episode because there's a lot going on. So preview live watch-along with us on my couch. And not only is it just us here, possibly Chili Beans, me and Ben, we're going to have little Jimmy Adamson coming all the way from Bayonne, New Jersey.
Jimmy Adamson.
Come and hang out with us on the couch. And not only that, you want to know what we're watching, Chili Beans?
I've been dying to know all night.
You want to know what we're watching? Now, I can't, when we do our watch-alongs, there will be a little TV that's playing the cartoons that we're watching. I cannot do that with this cartoon due to its graphic nature. But little Jimmy Adamson has never seen Chirpy.
Oh my God! So now we're doing a Chirpy reunion episode.
A live watch-along of Chirpy. And you'll get Jimmy Adamson's first reactions.
Oh my God! Oh, dude!
Live reactions.
I feel like I was on the Chirpy episode. I feel like it's only natural for me to have been
so
on
if you
that
want to come hang out on the couch with us and watch
chat, vote whether or not you want me to be on the next episode. All right?
We'll put a poll up.
Put a poll up. Let me know if you want me on the next episode.
This is a massive first for us, and not as far as watch-alongs go. You and Connor did
first
those
live watch-along though. First live one.
First live watch-along, and it's also the first time we've really dipped back into a cartoon.
Yeah. Because we've done other seasons of a thing or like a slight movie of a thing.
Not just like a whole thing of a 10-minute cartoon.
Rewatching the whole thing, yeah.
To rewatch, to sit down. I cannot wait for this because literally it's going to be 10 minutes of silence and then 4 hours of conversation.
Oh, there will not be silence in those 10 minutes. It's going to be like, wait, huh? What?
I cannot wait to see Jimmy's face watching this. It's gonna be.
I want to
great.
get like more guests.
Yeah.
I want to invite like as many people as humanly possible.
And if you're on, Garrett, you can tell us which part you were gonna get as a tattoo.
That's true. I am gonna get a tattoo. I am gonna get a Chirpy tattoo, and I'll explain it next week. So I have to tune in next week to find out
what
my Chirpy tattoo is gonna be.
Should we all go get Chirpy tattoos while I'm in town?
Oh, I mean, now it's a part. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not against it.
I still owe you a shitstorm tattoo, James.
You do.
We can get some of the tattoo. I don't know. I want to bring more guests. I don't know. We got to talk more about this. I want to bring as many people.
Well, it also depends how many microphones I
want to fill the frame with the fucking people to all watch this.
I mean, you know people who have spaces where we could fill a space with it.
Oh my God.
We'll discuss more of that. Keep your eyes
on
on the Fantasy Shed. Social media.
It's gonna be a party next week, man. It's gonna be insane. So you don't want to miss it. Little Jimmy Adamson, Chirpy, Chili Beans, whoever else. It's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be legendary.
Hopefully not too crazy. Hopefully not, Fantastic Planet crazy is my plan. But fun crazy.
Yeah, it'll be a good time, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, let's get the hell out of here. Thanks for everyone in the comments. Thanks, Chili Beans, for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Ben and James.
Always good to see you guys.
Yeah, till next week. All right, slide my mouse over. All right, goodbye, people.
All right, so long.
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman. Wait. Don't do it, Cartman. Wait. I'm warning you. Okay.
Hello, peasants. Want to kill all humans?
We're there, dude.
We'd like some money.
Yeah, money.
Money is cool.
Oh,